Good afternoon. As Eric said, my name is Phillip Stafford from the Department of Natural Resources. I'm in the Chesapeake and Coastal Services Department. And with that today, we're just going to talk a little bit about mainly our Chesapeake and Atlantic Coastal Bays Trust Fund, as well as the Watershed Assistance Collaborative Program. As we were talking about earlier, CBT does a lot of programs, a lot of grant programs, and we work with them as a partner as well. And then we also have sort of this big behemoth that is our trust fund. And just don't read all this, but basically we're looking to have this huge fund that we're able to make it adaptive as we learn things about how to better fund programs around the state. We try to adapt to y'all's needs. We're looking to focus these in areas of the state where we can have the biggest impact and where there's the largest chance of success with these programs. We're also looking to have these programs accountable. We want to make sure we're putting things in the ground and then find out that they're actually working. Once again, so we can help adapt and improve on what we're doing. And these are not paid through our license plates, although I will say that my blue car goes perfectly with the license plate. It's great. Ours are funded through the gas tax and with a rental car tax. Just taking a look at what the trust fund has been able to do. We've reduced about 2.2 million pounds of nitrogen so far, about a little under 250 pounds of phosphorus. It's not just doing the reduction of nutrients, we're also doing outreach to students, over 30,000 students. It's supporting jobs, about 885 jobs throughout the state, and looking at also planting trees and creating wetlands. Once again, it's through a gas tax and rental car tax, and we're looking to work with several different partners. This includes the Bay agencies, that's Department of Natural Resources, Department of Environment, Department of Planning, and Department of Agriculture. We're also working with the University of Maryland. We also have a scientific advisory panel that we work with, once again, to make sure we're as sort of up to speed and as adaptive as we can possibly be to make sure that this money is going to good use. And then, of course, with the legislature, making sure we stay funded. Speaking of being funded, the money has grown exponentially. It's gone 640% growth since FY09. We're aiming for about $50 million annually to have there. We've been the last 3 years, they've been supporting it with some capital funds to go along with the operating funds. And right now, just a little more in-depth talk about what we have right now. For the upcoming RFP for our capital funds, it's looking like we'll have about 10 to 15 million that we'll be having available. We're working on getting the call for letters of intent to come out, and that should be around the end of November. So be looking for that. Put in your letter of intent if you would like to apply for these grants. The minimum for this is $500,000, so it's a much larger grant. There's no cap on top of it, so it can be larger for that. From the timelines, we've got our letter of intent by November. We're looking to have the RFP go out in, the RFP going out in November, and then our letter of intent going out in January, February, and then having those applications, those full applications in around June, and then the notice of award in July. And once again, this is a very large grant program. We are looking to have shovel-ready programs, things that we can instantly put in the ground. We recognize that this isn't always the case, and so we rely on a lot of other programs, many of the ones that we were talking about earlier. And then we also have the Watershed Assistance Collaborative Program. We recognize that not everyone's ready to put in a shovel-ready $500,000 program in place, and so we have a lot of different resources available for groups to make sure that we can get them ready. So with the Watershed Assistance Collaborative, I'll just call it the WAC from here on out. We're looking to improve capacity. We're looking at technical training, so whatever needs groups may have, you can come to us and we can see what sort of training we can get you. We're looking to connect to funding sources, whether that's looking to groups like CBT, so grant programs. Also, we're looking for long-term funding. So not that you're going to apply for a grant each time, but you'll actually have internal funds within your local government that's actually fueling these projects going forward. And so just looking at sort of an overall sort of look at what we're doing, we've got watershed specialists that are really doing some outreach, really sort of the tip of the lance, going out in the communities, finding out what the organizations, the county governments, the municipal governments, what your needs are, working with you. They're really ready. I know there was a question earlier, if you just have an idea of a program, that's a great resource to connect to. They can come out to your site to see what you've got. Also at DNR, we're willing to do that as well. We also have grant funding through CBT. We have our DNR coastal training program, which, like I said, if there's sort of a hole in your abilities or in your readiness to get these done, you can come out to us and you can say, we need, training on project identification or grant management, that sort of thing. We can work with you to get those training programs going. And then finally, it's working with sustainable funding, so it just keeps the ball going throughout the process. So our partners are the Environmental Finance Center, Chesapeake Bay Trust, the University of Maryland Extension Sea Grant Program, and then our own DNR Coastal Training Program. So just a little bit more detail on some of these, the individual programs that they're working on. So with Sea Grant, they have specialists throughout the state. They work on community outreach, capacity building, and there's also a SMART tool which is looking to record individual BMPs at sort of the homeowner scale. And so you can put those into the system and actually get credit for those. It's in a pilot program right now. We're fine-tuning the last little kinks in those, and then we should have it statewide hopefully soon. And then throughout this thing, there's a lot of resources online. We really recommend you to go onto our website, find the resources that are available to you. They have all our contacts on there. Please reach out to us. We want to answer your questions. We want to help you out in any way we can. So once again, Sea Grant has a website. They've got a great newsletter on there, Headwaters, which has a lot of different resources. And this is one of the more important ones you can get. It has the 5 specialists that we have throughout the state. So your specialist for this area, Jack Takis, once again, her contact information is on the website as well, so you can get in touch with her, or you can get in touch with myself, and I can direct you to where you might need to go. Once again, we have the 5 that work throughout the state and really work with the communities, with the governments, with the local nonprofits, different community groups to really get things done. So we have our DNR Training Coastal Program. Once again, this is just, we're looking for what your needs are, and we're connecting you to the resources to get the training that you need to do projects, to put things in the ground. And so really continue to reach out to us. Sasha Land that works with that, so please reach out to her. CBT, I won't go into too much of this because we got a great presentation earlier. They just have a lot of great resources and for all different scales of getting funds to people who want to put projects into the ground. Once again, their information's all online. We have the Environmental Finance Center, which there's actually a program going on right now in Anne Arundel County for setting up a community stormwater program, of setting up, like I said, long-term financing, so you can actually have money to supply maintenance. So it's always hard for us to supply those things just from requirements that we have from our funding sources. So to actually get an internal long-term financing program is just great for any sort of community that's going forward. And they're working throughout the state on several different communities. They're always looking for new communities to work with, so continue to reach out with them. Once again, the website is over there. These numbers, of course, aren't as large as the huge trust fund numbers, but it is making an impact. We've worked with over 40 communities with the WAC. We've had 1.8 direct leverage funds. It's really, and we're still building on this continually. Once again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me, and I can either connect you to where you need to go, or come to a site visit myself, get a specialist involved, what have you. So please, like I said, reach out to us. And then this one's just important because it shows that we are looking at Anne Arundel County. with the trust fund money, we're looking to target it so we have the biggest impact for the dollars that we're spending. We've used different GIS programs to look at where are the watersheds that are having the biggest impact upon the Chesapeake Bay. We're also looking at where the most development is, and it pretty much all meshes up to really hit that 95 corridor. There's a lot of key watersheds that are in there, and then of course a lot of development. Anne Arundel's right at the crux of that, and so we're really trying to work with Anne Arundel quite a bit. And we're working with the scientific advisory panel once again to sort of craft this and make sure we are applying these funds as best as we can. And then I won't really go into this one, but there is the Maryland Innovative Tech Fund. Once again, we have lots of practices we know work, but we're always trying to improve on those, find other ways that we can create impacts on our watershed. And so we have the Innovative Tech Fund where we can go out, and if there is an idea, a company or an organization has an idea for improving on that, they can actually get grant funds to develop that idea and then to market that. We've had 1.3 million invested so far with 20 Maryland-based companies, 21 technologies have been developed. This is, like I said, we're just continually looking forward. We have, it's sort of like if you imagine a conveyor belt. We have the trust fund that's at the end that's really just the hammer on there that's putting projects in the ground. We have programs like WACLA that are there to develop and help you plan new programs. So if you don't have something shovel ready, you can go to a watershed assistance grant program. Like I said, we really do like acronyms, so WACLA. And you can use that to develop new programs. And then you have something like this where it's something that doesn't even exist yet, and you can use these funds to develop those. Once again, just constantly fostering collaboration between the different agencies, between nonprofits, between community groups, between communities, so we're trying to do that. And this is from a different presentation, but we really do want to make sure that we're improving the base, we can all eat more delicious crabs. And I will pull up a couple different websites just to reiterate the fact that there is a lot of resources on the website. One of the big ones that we encourage folks to go to is the Trust Fund Tracker. Any program that goes into the trust fund gets plugged into this, and you can really take a look at what programs are out there. And then it's also showing that we are, following this money, following these programs after the fact, and make sure that they're being used properly. And then we have our WAC site right here, which if you go to the bottom of that has all the different resources I was speaking about earlier. So you can go to those sites, and that will connect you to those folks and those resources that you need to get to. And then the last one I'll hit is the In the Zone. This is our newsletter that you can register for. We really recommend you doing this. All of our RFPs are announced in this, and so even though we have great articles, you can read all about things, there is a just direct connection to all the different money resources are there. So we really recommend you going in the zone. And another note, we are revamping our website, and so as that's going to be sort of a shake up for the next couple months, this will be sort of that straight feed to find out when RFPs are going to be coming out and what money is out there. So with that, is there any questions?
This is all under the Department of
Natural Resources, yes. Yeah. If you just go to DNR, there's a funding tab, or it's the CCS tab, it'll all sort of funnel you towards the right place. Yes.
For your letters of intent that are in November, has your scientific panel decided on what kind of project goals they want for next year?
It's still being developed, and so that's why these are only tentative dates. And sorry, I misspoke when I first said that the RFP will be going out in November, and then the letter of intent will be looked for in January and February. And once again, these are still sort of tentative dates because we are still working with the scientific advisory panel on those specific targets.
So
Yeah.
the second part of
No
the
problem.
question. By the project right now that's currently G3 funds,
Mhm.
is that helping and leveraging to get future trust funds?
Yeah, I mean, any project that you can sort of match up and show that it's like building on something, that always helps. With the trust fund, we're looking for cost effectiveness. So if you can show that it's matched up with another program that's actually doing work that you can leverage on top of that, that's always great. If you have in-kind, that always reduces the amount of money that we're having to put in, and it shows that you're getting, you know, more nutrient reduction for the money that we're putting in. So during the evaluation process, we're really looking at that. So yeah, if there's a program that you're working on, or if you have funds that you're already being able to put in, that's just, please include that information.
Third part to that question.
Sure.
Why was there the minimum of a $500,000 request?
It's more because there are some other resources for some of the smaller programs that are out there, and for getting this money out there and for project management, it just makes it easier. And once again, this is an adaptive process. Each year that's sort of decided. So if we get going, we find that that's, you know, too high a floor or too low a floor, we adjust that as we go. So that's where it's, because it's been, I think, around 200 in the past. And like I said, for this next year, it's going to be 500,000.
Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you.